Let's take a look at the Zachary Fowler version 2.0. Zachary Fowler is a survival expert and a winner of Season 3 of The Alone Show. Zachary has a great YouTube channel. You need to check it out, Fowler's Makery of Mischief. Zachary and Jordan Jonas are the only two people to have two versions of their survival cards. Like all of the Grimm cards, this is stainless steel and small enough to fit in the credit card slot of your wallet or in a small personal survival tin. The back side of this white backer is removable, and the back is adhesive. So you can stick this to an object and it's going to be there when you need it. All of the tools come out, and the first time you take your tools out, there is a small metal tab. And that's pretty easy to break through. So when you're done with the tool, you can put it right back on the card and it's held in place with the tool retention system. Just line it up, give it a press, and it's going to be there till you need it again. The Zachary Fowler version 2.0 card varies a little bit, some improvements, some different design thoughts, but the knife is exactly the same. So here's a good look at the knife, and it's got Zachary's logo as well as signature on it. And this is a Wharncliffe style blade. So this is going to work out great for wood processing. A very small tip like this is going to let you turn a tight radius in the wood. When you look at the grip for this knife, it's about a finger, maybe a finger and a half. So dominant control with one finger and your thumb. The rest of your hand is just kind of along for the ride. No problem controlling this knife at all. So if you look in the middle of the knife handle, you can see there's a couple hidden features. There's an awl as well as a tick remover. So here's the knife with the tick remover off, and when you take this off the first time, the awl is going to stay with the card when you have the knife off. So this is going to work similar to a tick key. Very slick design. Zachary is from Maine, so that is big time tick country up there. That is nothing to mess around with. So here's a good look at the awl, and it is pretty darn small. This is going to work out great for sewing leather or any type of item that's just a little too hard to pierce through. With the knife back on the card, we can see there is a giant lure. So there's a minnow lure on top, and the scale is actually a file. So here's the fishing lure, and I love the detail in it. I love that you can see the eye as well as the scales, which doubles as a file. And there is a hook on the card that's going to work on this tail fin. Heck of a lure. This should definitely get you some good sized fish. Since the fishing lure is out, I'm going to pull these two quad hooks out next. So here's the U-shaped double hook, and I've used hooks like this in the past with the Grimm fishing card or the lure card, and they work out great. That's going to work wonderfully with the steel minnow. So to attach these two parts together, it just slips over the hook and then down to the bottom of the U. And then when the fish is on, that's not going anywhere. This open U-shape can also be used to form a quad hook. So this is a new design. And to get that done, I'm just going to slide one through the other. So there's the quad hook locked together. Sticking with the fishing theme, we have a medium and a small barbed hook. Here is one of the two medium hooks that's on the card. And this is the exact same hook that was on version 1. You just get one less medium, one less small. And like all the Grimm hooks, this has got a great barb, and it's got that oversized eye, which is great for survival fishing because you don't always have standard monofilament fishing line. This will work great with natural cordage. This will work great with improvised cordage. This will work great with inner strands of paracord. So this is a solid addition to your kit. Here is one of the two small panfish size hooks. Same hook design. This is probably more appropriate for most of the small waters that I would be fishing. Also on the card is one short needle as well as two curved needles. Now that is a change. There were no needles on version 1 of Zachary Fowler's card. So here's the needle, and this is pretty small. You would be able to maintain your own gear with this needle with no problem. Minor first aid, if you're picking a splinter with this needle, would be no issue whatsoever. Larger crafting projects, you would probably have a little difficult time with this needle. So here's one of the two curved needles, and this would be much more fitting to some of the larger crafting projects. If I was doing a hide or some canvas, I would rather have this curved needle than the smaller one. Now the curved needle like this, a lot of people refer to it as a suturing needle. So if you did have to close a wound and you had the skill to do that, this needle would work a lot better than a straight needle. Over on the side, we have 2 sets of snare triggers. Here's a good look at one set of snare triggers. And this is similar in concept to an L7. This is going to work for a spring snare. This is also going to work for fishing to help you set the fishing hook. A similar design was included on version 1 of the Zachary Fowler card. I've used these triggers before, and this is an improvement. So I am going to go over all of the trap triggers on all the cards in a trapping series later, just to get the basic principle of how this works. This is going to be tied to the ground, so this could go through a stake or a root, and the other side is going to be attached to your spring engine. So this is going to come down and make contact. Now when the animal disturbs the snare, it's going to break the connection, and the spring engine is going to lift the animal in the air or set the hook on the fish. So how does the version 2 card compare to the version 1 card? I've got them both right here. I'll show you. So version 1 is here, and this is the version 2 card. And we see they're very, very similar. Minor differences. The knife's the same. You have hooks on both cards. You've got spring snare triggers. They're just different spring snare triggers. You lose the spinners. The spear, you're trading for a minnow. That's one of the major differences. So it's kind of up to you. If you're like stabbing stuff and you're in an area where you can get some frogs or possibly get fish or suckers, then maybe a spear might be a better option. If you're in bigger water, perhaps a larger lure like that might get you more fish. So the Zachary Fowler version 2.0 is a solid design. No real surprise after spending time with his first card. The knife with the tick remover and the awl is the same. So with that great knife, I've got the ability to make traps. I can do crafting with that Warncliffe style blade. I've got first aid covered with the tick remover, and that all is going to come in handy for a lot of camp crafting type projects. As far as fishing, I have 2 medium and 2 small fishing hooks. I also have that quad hook. That is an outstanding design. That's going to increase my chances of hooking a fish. I love the lure with the file built into the side of it. Great design. That should definitely help catch some fish. Sticking with the food theme, I've got 2 sets of improved spring snare triggers. So that's going to help me catch land animals. I could also set that up to fish. And for crafting, I've got the small needle that's going to work great for personal gear repair, as well as the 2 curved needles for my heavy duty work. This is going to be a great card to have with you if times get bad in the woods. If you like to go to remote places and travel light doing so, you might want to put a card like this in your kit.